And without further ado, we could dive into our top 5 sports games all time. Now, these are not what we think everyone thinks the top 5 sports games are ever. These are Najee and Jalal's top 5 sports
Yeah.
games.
Let me explain the
Yeah, please.
So top 5 vibes is not what we think is the greatest shit ever. It's usually our 5 favorite of something. So what I always do, because I'll start it off, I always give honorable mentions to cover all our bases, so y'all not in the comments cooking us. So
we're getting cooked for that Jalen Hurts video. Also, we haven't talked about that on the pod
we got smoked. And that's fine. That's fine. That comes with the territory. The Super Bowl is right around the corner.
I wasn't even saying he's trash. They're like, 3 guys that don't know ball.
I still think he's a little overrated. My opinion of him has not changed. I'll give him his props though. Like, he proved me wrong. I said to win the Super Bowl, he had to throw the ball consistently, and that's exactly what he did. But yeah, let's get right into it. These are any sports games, any sports you could think of. So couple honorable mentions: NBA Jam, which I played the original in like a arcade, but the one that came out in like 2011, it was okay. The one in the arcade is a lot better. NFL Street, which I played as a kid, but I don't remember playing it that much. NFL 2K5, I have never played that game. And I know people revere it as the greatest NFL football simulation game that ever come out. And I understand I have never played that game. I wish I did, because the game was only like $20 when it came out, and I'm begging my parents to buy me some $50 garbage. College football 14, and honestly, I'm gonna throw 25 in there because I really like 25.
25 is on my top 5, gang.
25 is fire, bro. Like, it had been so long, and yeah, bro. That's my most played game of the year for sure. And then I have Rocket League, which I didn't think that was considered a sports game, but it's kind of like soccer with cars. So cool. Fight Night Round 4. I was gonna put Fight Night Champion on here because that's the one I played most recently, and that was the most recent one to come out. But Round 4 is that one. Like, you could play with Muhammad Ali, you could play with Mike Tyson, and just all the heavyweights that we know growing up, Joe Frazier and Sugar Ray Leonard, like all these guys that really put the sport of boxing on the map. And then my last one, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw, specifically 2007, just because that's the one I remember playing on my PSP, and I had a blast with that one. While I catch my breath, would you like to give me your number 5, sir?
So I told Jalal this before we started recording. I couldn't come up with 5 that I don't even got honorable mentions. I couldn't come up with 5 that really was like my top 5 of all time. I so badly wanted to find a Madden to put on here, and I just didn't. There's no Madden that sticks out to me that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta put that one on here. If there was any, I just don't remember. Like, if there was any Madden, I would probably say Madden 11. Because I believe that is when I became a Seahawks fan. And so I owe my Seahawks fandom to Madden 11. And so if I was to put any single game at 5, I'm coming up with this on the fly because I only have 4, I would put Madden 11. I think I've told the story of how I became a Seahawks fan, but I didn't watch football. And so the Seahawks had these neon green jerseys. And as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, I want to play with these neon green jerseys. That stuck out to me. And ever since then, I've been a Seahawks fan. And that has, so like, it just so happens that 2-3 years later, we were winning chips. So I kind of hopped in at a good time, but I've been through the struggle since then. So I think that I'm not a bandwagon, and I kind of owe Madden 11 my Seahawks fandom. So that's number 5 for me.
Okay. Madden 11 was solid. I like 10 better, but 11 was solid too. My number 5, this is an absolute throwback. Backyard baseball. I have one name for you, and one name only. I know you didn't. Pablo Sanchez. Pablo Sanchez is the greatest non-MLB baseball player to be put in any baseball game ever. He is Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, and fucking whoever you want, Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan. He can do anything you want him to do. You want him to play center field, he gonna go grab that bitch off the fence. You want him to play catcher, he could do that. You want him to throw 99 miles per hour, he could do that. It was just a mindless baseball game, and it was very arcadey, and a lot of kids played it growing up. And I caught on pretty late. But Pablo Sanchez was in every iteration of Backyard Baseball because he's kind of like a legend of the series. So as a kid who played a lot of NBA and MLB and NFL games growing up, like Backyard Baseball was a nice change for me. And it's something that like one of the games that I've had the most fun with probably throughout my entire life playing games. Oh, one game I forgot to mention. NBA Live 05. Because that's not in my top 5. But the most fun I've had on probably any basketball
game. Who on the cover that? D Wade?
Mello.
NBA Live 05?
Mello. D Wade is on 06.
Oh, yeah, it is Mello. Shit. See, you was a gamer, brother. I didn't play that shit.
Yeah. Bro, NBA Live 05, you could play the entire All-Star weekend and do dunks. Put it between your legs twice, throw it off the shot.
When did that game came out in 2005?
Bro, that game came out 2004. Because, they come out the year before the title.
Yeah. Brother,
a game that came out in 2004. This is 21 years ago. You can play a dunk contest, throw the ball off the camera hanging that's recording the dunk contest itself. Catch it in the air behind your back between the. It was ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun, and there was so many different dunks you could do. But you had to have a good dunker. Like you couldn't go out there with Steve Nash and try to do some Jordan shit.
I didn't get my first console until I turned 10. That was in 2008.
Yeah. Oh no, I feel you, bro.
All of that shit.
My cousins put me on, man. Like my cousin had PS2, used to play that shit. Literally like every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do my number 4, and then you can do your number 4. My number 4 is Madden 05, because it had one of the most Ray Lewis.
Shit, you're right.
Had one of the most important additions to football games in history, and that's the hit stick. I felt like before Madden 05, it was very like offensive heavy. Like the year before was 04. Mike Vick was the greatest player they ever put in the game. He could do anything you asked him to. It's like just pressing a button and it's 99 speed, throw power, whatever. They implemented the hit stick and there was no more of that nonsense. And you throw that bitch over the middle, poof. Yeah,
that's like football culture too. Like
yeah,
that like changed.
Like somebody gets hit in real life in a football game now. That's a hit stick.
Yeah, bro. Like commentators say that. So shout out. I didn't even know that.
Shout out Madden 05. Shout out Ray Lou. And I think it was important that they knew like they had to put somebody on the cover that epitomized what the game was about. Like the game was so heavily focused on defense. Ray Lewis at the time was winning Defensive Player of the Year, one of the best players in the league, went on to be one of the greatest players of all time. Mm-hmm. So shout out to them. Because back then, like covers meant something. Now it's just like anybody could get on the cover.
Yeah. For me, my number 4, I mentioned this earlier, college football 25. Now, I want to make it clear. I didn't play none of the college football games growing up. Never did that. I ain't even watch college football.
Yes, you did.
What college football game?
Played 14. We had 14.
I did not have no 14. I promise you I did. Bro. I promise you I did.
Damn,
no, I did not have that. I played.
You 14. Didn't play Heisman mode?
Bro, I didn't have none of that. No.
That's nuts.
I didn't have none of that. So this is my first year watching college football and my first year playing a college football game. So I bought college football 25 and I wanted to start, like it made me want to start watching college football. Now I'm locked the fuck in. I'm a Florida Gators fan. I bleed orange and blue, baby. So like, not only did it change like the way that not only did it give me like a game that I put hours into, it's easily my most played game of 2024. And it came out in the summer. I'm in like 2040 of my Gators franchise, like Gators dynasty. Like I put time into that game. It's really well thought out, like just from recruiting to even Ultimate Team was kind of fun to begin with. I stopped playing it because like then it just becomes pay to win, and I'm not dropping bread on Ultimate Team to play with Lamar Jackson.
And we started getting smoked online too.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. But just
niggas
like
had Saquon Barkley in 2 weeks.
I just like the level of like real detail that you can go into, and if you really want to, in your dynasty and in this game is amazing to me. And plus now I'm like actually locked into college football, learning players, I'm going through Florida's schedule. I watched every game they played last year. Like it just added a new element of things to do in my life. So I'm a big fan of college football 25.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. I love college football 25. I think there are some things they do need to improve on, but overall, like I had a blast with the game. When the game dropped, I don't know when's the last time I had been so excited to play a sports game. And me and my college roommates and a couple of their friends, we have a Sun Belt league that's like 15 years in.
Yeah.
And I had like UL Monroe. If you don't know, their quarterback's name is General Booty. And he's ass. But it's just it's crazy how like how much you can do. Like we're no longer in the Sun Belt. We're now in the Pac-12 going up against like Oregon and Ohio State. Like we moved teams around and conferences are the same. Game is a blast. I truly enjoyed it. I feel like we're doing a trend here while you're doing more recent games and I'm doing straight throwbacks. But I mean, hey. Anything
you ever had these nerds? The Valentine
is that
that's the Valentine edition, buddy. Yeah.
Oh no, I never had the Valentine one.
Correct.
The clusters in general are fire, but but I didn't have those. You must have been hoarding them for a minute.
Yeah.
It's almost March, brother. What was that? Your number 4 or number 3?
Number 4.
Okay, my number 3. This game has the argument to be the greatest sports game ever made. Shout out Nintendo, because Wii Sports is one of the greatest games, not even sports games, one of the greatest games Wii has ever made. You tell me a game where you could get your aunties, your uncles, your grandma, your pops, your cousins, your mom to all get up and play the same game at the same time. They could play some boxing. They could play some golf. Everybody wanted to play bowling. People didn't really play baseball like that, but I did. You could play tennis. Was that all of them?
I think that was it. The boxing. Did you say boxing?
Oh, and the boxing against don't remember the black dude's name, but he used to whoop your ass every time you played him.
The ball one.
Yeah, ball one with a mustache. Yeah. He was insane, bro. I think that game was just ahead of its time. The Wii in general, one of the greatest consoles ever made, and the Wii Sports is without a doubt probably one of the most impactful games they made, because after the Wii came out and there was so many.
There was no other console like it. Like there was no.
They tried to emulate it and they couldn't. Like PlayStation had PlayStation Move. They had the camera. Didn't work. Xbox had Xbox Connect. That shit was garbage because I bought it. And
garbage. I had it too.
Ass, bro.
I forgot about Connect with a K. Yeah, that shit was
and then they tried to do like the Wii U, and even the Wii U, like they were saying it was a more upgraded version of the Wii, and it just wasn't hitting like the Wii, bro. And honestly, like say you're living in today and you find your Wii, I guarantee you might not be able to find all those other games you bought when you were a kid, but guess what might be in that system? Wii Sports. Because I'm telling you, if you didn't play nothing else, the one you could always go back to was Wii Sports, bro. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. And there was no like, what about the Switch?
On the Switch, me and Chris just bought Wii. They have like Wii Switch Sports.
Oh, like Switch Sports.
They got basketball, bro. That shit is elite. Like you sitting in your living room.
Oh, it's nice.
They got like a 3-point shootout. So you be in there.
I gotta tell Des to get it.
It's tough, yeah.
That shit sounds fire. But yeah, Wii Sports, one of the GOAT games, all-time favorite. And I feel like every kid can relate that they played this game if they had a Wii. It came with the Wii. You didn't even have to buy it. It was free.
Mm-hmm. My number 3, excuse my munching. My number 3 is this is a throwback. I was thinking of these games, and I'm like, damn, this was an impactful game. I put hours into this motherfucker when we was kids.
All right.
Mine's is NBA Street Home Court. Now, I don't know if you remember this. It had Mello on the cover, the Mello with the braids on the cover. I put hours into this, bro. I was spamming this game. And so for me, when I think back and like, yo, what games were most important to my childhood? What games can I not tell the story of my childhood without? NBA Stream Home Court is gotta be in there. So that automatically makes it a top 3 game for me. I don't even know if people know what that game is. Like, it's not a super. I don't know how popular it is, to be honest. I feel like I never hear people talk about it in the way that people talk about like Madden 04 or 05, whatever the one with Vic is. I never hear people talk about it like that. Yeah, like I feel like there's iconic games people always bring up. I never hear people bring up Street Home Court. So for me,
the reason why is because one, EA Sports Big, which was a company that made all these Street. NFL Street, NBA Street. I think they had a FIFA Street. They went out of business, and then like all these games became a cult classic. Like it was one of those you just had to be there because you can't really go back and play them. But we'll get to that later because I got one of those on my list too, buddy. What's your number 2?
My number 2. Wait, did you give your number 3?
Yeah, it was Wii Sports.
Oh yes, my number 2 is NBA 2K13. Now,
okay, yeah, come on, tell the story. I already know.
I was going back and forth on a couple of 2Ks. My number 1 was locked, like that was easy for me. But my number 2, for me specifically, is the one with KD, Blake Griffin, and D Rose on the cover. And I remember when this came out, like that was such a big deal. I think it was the last one before next gen. So I think 2K14.
It was 2K14 came out on that same like the 360, but then the next gen version came out the same year. Like the PS4 came out that fall.
It was the last one before they started dropping next gen games.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it was a big like swan song from my Xbox 360 and shit like that. So
now we put hours into that game, bro.
My team specifically, me.
And tell them what we used to do, please,
bro. We used to do the VC glitch, gang. I don't know if you remember, bro, but I don't even know how you do it no more. But it was like
I remember.
You have to let a game play through, bro. Like
no, not just one. He's not telling all the details. We sat there for legitimately. We were like, this is like the summer going into high school. Like we were like 8th grade, and we didn't have nothing to do. We didn't have no job. We just sitting in the house.
Nothing to do but game, baby.
Game. They're like, oh, y'all in the house? Yeah, I'm doing this VC glitch. What y'all doing? But we used to sit there like, bro, all day and just let games sim. And one time, my mom came in the living room and she's like, "How you have the Xbox on? You're not even playing it." I'm like, we getting somewhere. Like this is for the end of the night when we gotta open these mods.
Bro, you don't understand, bro. We will hop on at like 9 a.m. Hop in the party, be like, yo, bro, we about to let the game sim. Let games just sim until like 10 p.m.
And go do what we gotta do.
Don't eat breakfast, go to the store, go wherever. Come back at like 10 p.m. Have like 100K VC and be like, oh yeah, we finna open these packs.
Like, but you know what the sickest part of it? You know what the sickest part of it is? We would open the packs and not get shit and do the same thing.
And be like, we wanted some more.
Because if I remember correctly, the hardest person to get in my team was Allen Iverson. Like he was the rarest. You couldn't get Iverson if you put in 10,000 hours in the game because the packs weren't like they are now. Like they were literally, you open the packs, you get a random player. But you had great luck. I think you got him. I was sitting there like, Then I'm getting Clyde Drexler and Charles Barkley. I'm like, nigga, can I get Iverson?
And that shit is iconic because it's the little like treasure boxes. And it was like a bronze one, a silver one, a gold joint.
Yeah.
Because that was before the auction market was a thing.
The market was a set market. There was no auction block. You couldn't trade cards. Yeah,
so you only got who you pulled. That shit was so elite, bro. Like, you used to put hours into this shit, bro. Like,
now that I'm thinking about it, that shit was ass.
It is ass, but like we thought it was
ass concept. We thought it was fire back then, but no, auction house is crazy.
If I could go back and look at how many like just total hours I put into 2K13, it's got to be something ridiculous. Like
it's got to be at least At least 800.
At least
something
like
nuts.
days and weeks, like something crazy shit.
Something nuts.
So that's number 2 for me, bro. What was your number 2?
My number 2, the game that I think still to this day is the greatest 2K to ever come out. And we live in a world now where 2K is fucking garbage. It is absolute trash.
Is it 10 or 11? Or 12?
It is 11.
It's
11. Michael Jordan on the cover. It was the first 2K to have Jordan in. And at that time, that was a huge deal. Like, Michael Jordan hadn't been in a basketball game since like 1999, bro. Like, it was so hyped up, and it was a point we didn't even like think it was real. We like, they're not putting Jordan in the game. They bullshit. Then they dropped the trailer. We like, oh, he really
had
in the game.
Jordan moment or whatever.
And then you start the game up. This was the best part of the just starting the game up for the first time, because it only happened the first time you play the game. It does the whole Chicago Bulls intro, like the from North Carolina, and it has the whole crowd going crazy. They showing the scoreboard with their highlight. Like, that's stuff like that is why we grew up playing games like that. Like, they put their heart and all their effort into these games, and they don't do that anymore. They don't. All they care about is making money. And there was no VC back then. No VC. If you wanted to make a my player, you had to make your my player and grind up them skill points, buddy. And then if you was asked, the NBA 2K insider was gonna come talk to you about how trash you were. Like, damn, bro, that was a bad game you had. Then on top of it, you see some dude looking like Stephen A. Smith pop up with his afro, like, Hakeem Olajuwon once said, like, Nick, I ain't trying to hear that. 2 points on 1 of 10 shooting in the summer league. They have to cut me, bro.
Yeah.
You could turn him off, though. I think I turned him off after a while.
I don't even remember if I turned him off, but I know he used to piss me off.
I remember specifically, like, when you start my career, you had to play against, like, John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. John Wall used to give me the business, bro. Come down the court, hezzy cross, step back. I'm like, bro, ain't nothing I could do with that. Then they put you in a pick and roll. You end up guarding Boogie. Yeah, GG's.
I remember my players. I always made guards, so and I never grinded them out. Like, that's why I'm not gonna lie. Like, when they put VC in the game, I was hyped because, like, I'm not trying to grind them. I'm not trying to grind them skill points.
I was grind the house, boy.
I was always trash.
They had it wasn't like rec or pro-am or whatever. They did have crew mode, which is kind of like pro-am. But they had like a black top mode where you play like 5v5. And the wildest thing about this game, even though I'm ranting about how great the game is, people learned how to hack the game. So you could come in the black top and there would have like
NBA players, right?
You be playing against LeBron James, bro. And then there was other people who had like 20-foot my players. So the game will load and you just see a nigga crotching the camera. Like, you can't see nothing else. And he's shooting the ball and they're like, it's good. Like, bro, we can't even see the ball go in the hoop. He's blocking the whole camera.
Yeah.
But you could play like with celebrities in the black top. Like, they had Snoop Dogg, Justin Bieber, Drake, Kanye. Like, bro, that game is insane. Like, I wish I could play it. Hey, he wasn't out yet. He wasn't out yet. He ain't hit his stride yet. But they had the Jordan moments, like you said, which was honestly impactful because they hadn't done anything since, and they tried to redo the Jordan moments. They didn't hit like before. Then they tried to do Kobe moments, and they didn't put the 81-point game in. Like, they tried to recreate what 2K11 was, and they've never been able to do that. They came close. I think 2K16 is a great game, and
is that where we was ranked
as well?
Is that where we was ranked in Pro-Am?
Probably, yeah. We had all the time in the world.
Yeah, humble brag. We used to be, oh my God, we was ranked worldwide in Pro-Am. You feel me? How we was in 2016, that version of us
was like 17.
Unwinnable in 2K. We was running people off the court, boy.
17 years old. We get off the bus or get on the bus and be like, hey, you know what time?
We in
3 o'clock.
We running plays in the practice joint, bro. Nah, we was elite, gang.
Yeah, we were nice. But what's your number one?
My number one was easy for me. If we're talking about games that actually impacted my life to be what it is today. There's no more impactful game for me than NBA 2K9. Now, it might not be
Talk
the
to him,
best
bro.
2K. It
Yeah.
might not be the best 2K ever. It might not be what people remember. It might just be a normal 2K. It had KG on the cover, and it was the very first 2K I ever got. It's the very first 2K I ever played. It's the reason that I am a basketball fan. It's the reason I'm a Lakers fan. If I don't get that game, do I work in sports? Do I have my job? You know, like that,
Bro,
like
what's
I
crazy
can
is
pinpoint.
Like if you don't
You,
meet me, you
yeah,
never play that game
that's
if you
true.
don't
I
meet me,
always
bro.
give you credit. I always give you credit for why I'm a Lakers fan. If you guys don't know, I got my Xbox when I was 10 and I didn't watch basketball or football. So I asked, the only game that I got for my Xbox was Soul Calibur. I was a real dweeb. So I was
now
like,
that game was fire. That game was
fire, but like,
That game was
okay, you know. So I'm like, yo, Jalong, what game should I get? Like, I want to get a game. And he was like, yo, bro, get 2K9. So I go to GameStop. I never played basketball. I never watched basketball. I didn't give a fuck about basketball. And so I went and I got it. And I'm like, all right, cool, bro. What team do I use? And he's like, you know what, bro? Use the Lakers. And since then, it's history. You see this man right here on behind me? That's probably not there without Jalal. So shout out. You know what I mean? Shout out. And so for me, that is the most iconic game that I've ever played, because without it, I don't know if I'd even be living the life I live right now. So the 2K9 forever ingrained. I might frame that bitch. I might go get the cover and frame that hoe just because I love that game. So that's easy number one for me.
You know a game is impactful when you can you remember the songs from the soundtrack. There was when you used to turn the game on, you remember the songs like 2K
Sports, kicking in the city when we in around town next door. Yeah, bro, I'll tell you, we was on that.
Bro. 2K9 was fire, but it didn't have I don't even remember if it had an online mode. Like there was no My Career. There was no. I don't even remember what you play on. You just play people online. You get your ass busted, keep it pushing. Like make a franchise and keep it pushing, bro. But that wasn't my first 2K, but that was one of the ones where like I wanted an Xbox so bad. Like I was playing 2K8 on my dad's PS2 for the longest, bro. And then my parents got me an Xbox for Christmas one year, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get 2K. And that's it. I don't need nothing else. We just gonna get 2K.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro. I used to play I used to play with the Heat all the time. I smoked you with the Heat. But
I mean, hey, I didn't know the game of basketball, so you could.
I set you up, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was plotting. I was standing next to you in GameStop when you bought the shit, brother.
But he just wanted to use me for target practice. Like,
I need to practice, man. I had bigger fish to fry.
Wait, so what's your number one?
So my number one, it is definitely the most impactful game to me as a kid, as NBA Street Volume 2. When I was little, I didn't like playing regulation rules all the time. Like I just wanted to do the wildest things and with the wildest people. So I played the first NBA Street and I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, but you couldn't play with legends. I don't think you could, if I remember correctly. But in like the little story mode at the end, you play Michael Jordan, then you unlock everybody. In this one, you can play with everybody off rip. Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Dominique Wilkins, Julius Erving, and then they had this dude named Stretch, who was basically Julius Erving with LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson all combined in one. He's on the cover. Like they got Stretch in the middle, and who's on the left of him? Michael Jordan, bro. Please, for confirmation, please.
What is it? NBA Street Volume 2?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The cover is Michael Jordan on the left.
Oh wait, this is Stretch that looked like Julius Erving.
That dude that looked like Julius Erving is Stretch.
And
then the dude on the right.
Who's on the right?
That man's name is that's Bonafide.
Oh yeah.
He was a dog.
Okay.
So you play like the story mode for this, and like you got to go to this park and you got to play Bonafide. Then you go to the next park, you play this girl named Dimes, and she was nice. She would cook you, like drop you and then dime somebody up. Then you had to play Biggie Littles. What you know about going to Dykeman and got to play Biggie Littles, bro?
Biggie Littles is
he
great.
was like 5'3", dunking on people. The shit was nuts. But like as you go on, you pick up players and then you go to the next park, and then at the end you got to play Stretch. Not gonna lie to you, bro. It took me like 3 weeks to beat Stretch.
That's fine. That's a real game. That's real games right there.
I was like 6 years old.
Real
bro.
hoop. That's good hoop.
I was gonna beat that shit, bro. Did not pause. But I was gonna beat the game, bro. I was determined to beat the game. But it to me, like if we were talking about regular games, this would be in my top 5. Like me and my cousin used to play this all the time, and like when he would smoke me in NBA Live, I'd be like, all right, bet, let's go play NBA Street, because that's what I know how to play, and I would smoke him right back. But yeah, man, like I wish somebody would make a PS6 2.
Yeah,
like a PS2 6.
Or just like a remake of it. That would be hard.
Like an emulator, like a PlayStation emulator where you could just play all the old games.
Nah, that would be tough. Yeah, before we started this, Joel was playing 2K14 before we hopped on the pod. So
I was living.
That's his bag.
That game is fire, bro. It still looks great 10 years later.
And so that is our top 5 games of all time. If you guys have any opinions, if you guys have a story related to a video game, or you just want to tell us your top 5, let us know in the comments.